Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Thanks for coming out here today. We're here to unveil CAIR's new campaign challenging the anti-Muslim hate ads that unfortunately have been put up in a number of DC metro stations. CAIR is not the only group that's doing this. There are a number of interfaith and civil rights groups that are doing it as well, but we felt it was important to have the Muslim perspective in this anti-hate initiative. And to explain a little about why we're doing it, what the ad is all about, we'll first hear from CAIR Executive Director Nihad Awad. Which direction?
Good morning. Thank you all for coming. The reason we're here today is not just only this ad, but the atmosphere that the anti-Muslim hate campaign that has been initiated by a small group of people and its impact on American Muslims and the public discourse. It is important to mention that the Islamophobia campaign that American Muslims have been witnessing over the years has been a small group of activists, experts in misinformation, and organizations that have been funded by several foundations that are known in the country. Some of these activists and their funding are known and reported in this book, which I would like both the media and the public to be aware of this book, because facts matter. We need people to know that there is an orchestrated campaign in the United States to alienate American Muslims, to divide Americans along ethnic and religious lines, and fear of fear. And fear in America has been an industry that has been profitable to several individuals and organizations. The Center for American Progress came with this important report that we would like both the public and the media and policymakers to be aware of, that what you see out there in terms of ads and misinformation about American Muslims, it's not haphazard. It is an orchestrated, well-organized campaign designed to sow fear and division in America. Some of these activists are like people like Stephen Emerson, Pamela Geller, and Robert Spencer. They have been conducting anti-American Muslim ad campaigns for years. But recently we have seen an intensified effort during election time. In 2008, their affiliate groups and friends have distributed about 28 million copies of a DVD called Obsession, Radical Islam's War on the West. It was designed to scare the public and voters from voting to Barack Obama. They spent about $50 million to scare the public and associate Barack Obama with Islam and Muslims. That campaign was designed to sway voters in swing states. Of course, the campaign failed, but the damage that it caused, it misinformed the public and American voters about Islam and Muslims. It is important to know these facts. The second thing I would like just to mention to you before I talk about our ad campaign is this creates an atmosphere of violence and bigotry against Muslims. In the past 2 months, we have witnessed a spike of anti-Muslim hate crimes and vandalism against mosques and Islamic organizations. A mosque was burned to the ground in Joplin, Missouri in July. Pig parts were thrown at mosques. Shots were fired at mosques. And just a few days ago, someone tried to burn a mosque in Toledo, Ohio. Now the good thing is, the majority of civic and religious organizations have condemned this Islamophobia campaign. A coalition of 127 local and national civic and religious organizations have condemned Pamela Geller's ad campaign against American Muslims. And this is to us very assuring. And this is, I believe, the story. That civility needs to be reintroduced to this public discourse. And that's why at CAIR we decided to start an ad campaign to reintroduce civility to public discourse about American Muslims and Islam in America. We're starting with this. These are Quranic values that we would like to share with the public. These are the values that we are raising our children with. This ad starts with this verse from the Quran. It says, show forgiveness, speak for justice, and avoid the ignorant. This message is for our children, for our community, but also for the public, to know that the Islamic values are no different than Christian and Muslim and Jewish values. These are the values that made this nation great. These are the values that united Americans. These are the values that we celebrate as Americans and we share with people around the world. And that's why it is important for us not to sink to the level of hate mongers and bigoted campaigns. We want to reintroduce civility and values to uplift the spirits of Americans and to remind those who watch the anti-Muslim hate campaign to speak up and not just to wait for American Muslims to defend themselves. We succeed as Americans, as a society, when more people join and push back against bigotry, division, and prejudice in America. Thank you. We have, just before I leave, we signed the contract with the transit agency. So this is the first. It will go up next week. We do not know exactly when, but we hope it will be up on Tuesday, but the latest on Wednesday. And this is going to be one of many that we will, through it, reintroduce American Muslims and Islamic values that probably many people will see that it is not different from Christian, Jewish values that we have been celebrating for many years in America. Thank you.
And also you'll note that the ad references our Explore the Quran campaign. This is a campaign that has distributed free Qurans to tens of thousands of Americans of all faiths, and particularly public officials, elected officials have tens of thousands of the Qurans, free Qurans, have gone to these individuals through the Explore the Quran campaign, so people can go to that website and request a free Quran of their own. Next, we'll hear from Naeem Bey. He's Vice President of the Islamic Circle of North America and Executive Director of its Council for Social Justice.
Mr. Bey, would you be kind enough to spell your first name and last name?
Sure. Thank you. My name is Naeem Bey, N-A-E-E-M, and last name is B-A-I-G, Bey.
Thank you.
I would like to thank CAIR for this press conference, and especially for launching this ad in Greater Washington, D.C. area. As Americans, we understand the importance of the right to free speech and freedom of expression. American Muslims value this right on behalf of every American citizen and will never shy away from ever defending this right. We also feel that this right to free speech should be seen as a great responsibility. Freedom of expression and willful provocation will have different outcomes, and such is the case of free speech and hate speech. The right to freedom of expression should not be an opportunity to spread hate and pass insults on sacred religions and religious icons. American society is mature enough to recognize that hate speech is not acceptable. As mentioned in the Bible, there is one who speaks rashly like the thrusts of a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healings. Let us, as all Americans, unite in bringing about the healing that is desperately needed in our country and in the global village today. ICNA has two outreach departments which are known as WhyIslam, WHYISLAM.org, and Gain Peace. And in the past several years, we used billboards, subways, and commuter buses in an educational campaign about Islam and American Muslims. And we are very glad that CAIR has taken this initiative in Washington, D.C. area. This year, ICNA worked on a campaign defending religious freedom, understanding Sharia, and seeing the importance of today's environment. We are also launching a campaign on understanding Prophet of Islam and Islam as well. Our Why Islam has a billboard up in New Jersey area, and our Gain Peace outreach effort has launched the commuter buses campaign in Chicago area as well. So we hope that through these efforts and with the help of other Muslim organizations such as CAIR, the American Muslim community is offering to the larger public that we are here as your neighbors, as your colleagues, as American citizens, and we would like to work with you and help all Americans understand how we feel about our faith, how important it is for us, our faith and Prophet Muhammad and the sacredness of Quran. And we feel that people, though they are a very small minority, there are very few people who for their own benefits and advantages, and as it is said today, the best industry in America today is that you write anything against Islam and Muslims and you will make money out of that. As Nihad Awad mentioned about this, and we feel that this trend must stop, and all Americans, including Muslims, must be seen as respectable citizens of the country. Thank you.
And as we mentioned earlier, this is just one component of a community-wide repudiation of these hate ads. We're working with groups like the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, Jewish Voice for Peace, and other groups. As he mentioned, 127 coalition members in rejecting these ads. And you've seen similar initiatives when they went up in the New York transit system. So it's not just CAIR, it's not just the Muslim community, it's a grassroots, broad-based rejection and repudiation of this hate campaign by a vocal minority of well-financed, well-coordinated Islamophobes.
Learn more at CAIR.com.